Yo, what's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Star Grails again. I've updated my build compared to yesterday. A few changes, so again, all thanks. Thank you for all the support and changes and fixes and tips for this deck. A couple of changes. I've added an Exodius in the main deck, as you saw earlier in the matches yesterday, is that it's super easy for this deck to thin its own extra deck, and something like Exodius, well, Pot of Avarice in the OCG, this deck needs cards that can get back extra deck monsters from the grave, and Exodius for now seems something okay to try out, and it's also something to be used for your one of your Star Grail monsters. So I think it's an excellent choice for this deck. Although, the matchup, a lot of people suggested this matchup is against true Dracos. Currently the best deck in the OCG for a good reason, and for the moment the biggest strengths of Star Grails is that they can lock your opponent out of the extra deck. You know, occupying both extra monster zones, you know, it's called extra link, by eventually getting a lot of monsters on the field and lock up your opponent's zone, well, the extra zone as well. But that biggest strength of this deck is pretty much it doesn't affect true Dracos at all, since you know true Dracos don't use their extra deck, so that's already very hard. And most important thing here is Masterpiece is it's this deck's biggest weakness. If Masterpiece is unaffected by monster effects, then it's so hard for this deck, for Star Grails to get over that. One of the biggest strengths of Star Grails, oh yeah, Star Grails do have main deck answers against Masterpiece Turbo, like for example the Hand Trap, or yeah, Deco Talker. Deco Talker is your MVP to go to, prevent targeting and get itself up to a high amount of attack. But if the opponent is smart and can play around Deco Talker and, you know, making sure that he doesn't put his monster in the different, or at least in the wrong monster zones, then this deck, in this current build, this deck Star Grails, the true Draco matchup is pretty much impossible, as you will see in a few moments. We had a few test duels earlier, just like discussing possible plays, but yeah, after that we eventually decided to record a match, so let's hop into the first duel. Alright, first game we've had, at least when recording the match, the opponent gets a start, and that's a good start. He immediately gets Knuckle on board, so at least once when I activate a monster effect, he can search a trap card. And you know, this is pretty much the same build as yesterday, so no main deckable answers against the Masterpiece, so I like Kaijus and, for example, Galaxy Cyclone to banish your opponent's spells and traps would be very crucial in this matchup. So something that I probably go to main deck in the near future. Priority number one here is to lure out Masterpiece. One of the answers here, since Masterpiece is not unaffected by monster effects, is the Hand Trap, the level 1 here, but that only works, or he only works, when a linked monster is targeted, so a monster that is linked to another linked monster is targeted by a card effect, and sadly that was not the case here in this scenario, but this Masterpiece is used, so we eventually get a brilliant fusion shenanigans going, pretty much the same as yesterday, right, the same combo, and eventually end with a couple of draws and go for Deco Talker. Again, MVP in this matchup, since it does protect you against target effects like the trap cards when they are sent from the field to the graveyard, and Masterpiece as well. And yeah, just make sure that you of course have the monsters linked to your Deco Talker as well. Here, this was very important. I think it's still a glitch on YgoPro, is that he does make the good move of trying to destroy my middle monster here. You know, the monster that can, it's like a Scrap Dragon once per turn, and normally Eve, the middle one, should have been destroyed. At least I can destroy her by saving the other monster here, but that effect didn't trigger. Maybe I'm missing something, but again, a very crucial move, since now that yeah, Star Grail Scrap Dragon could have saved me here in this case by destroying his trap card. Okay, he would have been able to destroy a monster, but still Deco Talker would have been in effect, and you know, my whole Star Grail engine is still intact with the Stratos engrave, with the level 5 engrave to get back that Dark Factory Star Grail card. Again, that was very crucial, and now he's just able to again get the correct masterpiece on board, being unaffected, I believe, by monster effects. So that's pretty much game over. No, yeah, Kaijus is pretty much my only out for this, or you know, adding a few extra deck options like maybe Utopia, but still he can destroy Utopia before attacking, right? So I still think main decking Kaijus and Galaxy Cyclones are definitely options, or Cosmic Cyclones. That's what I wanted to say against current best deck in the OCG, which is of course through Draco's pure. Yeah, most of the time it's just a pure build. But yeah, one of the options here was using, or at least get back Decode Talker thanks to Firewall Dragon, but yeah, nothing I can do about that. So second example I get to start, and it's still hard. I'm not really sure getting at least the best first turn board against true Dracos. I think that the option I had with this hand is again eventually go for Decode Talker first, get a few draws, making sure that I have 3 Star Grail monsters linked to you know, Ningirusu, I believe the name is. Get 3 draws and eventually upgrade to Decode Talker and get some nice field shenanigans going with Double Eve. You know, they are linked to each other, so if I'm not mistaken, it's like pretty much a dupe lock, a dupe frog lock, something like that. They cannot be targeted by card effects, and they can also not be destroyed by card effects. But they only have 1800 attack, so that's somewhat low. And again, the opponent is able to get first Knuckles on board, so triggering its search effect, get a trap card, again the Reborn Trap, so crucial, since it's hard for this deck, for now in the current state, to get rid of that trap without triggering its effect, right? Something like the Cyclone as well could be very important, and he has enough trap cards at his disposal to keep firing shots fired against Decode Talker, and now he's just eventually able to pop it. And yeah, of course, Masterpiece was unaffected by monster effect, so again a great play on his part. He reveals a skill drain and instantly scoop phase, so since again the extra deck is only left at 4 and no plays after that. So if this deck is going to be released soon in the OCG and Code of the Duelist, that should be this weekend, I believe. We should see popping up a few lists definitely on the Yuga organization website, but I highly doubt this will be the build being played in tournaments. They definitely going to adjust their main deck, like Kaijus maybe, the Cyclones here in the main deck. Also something that D7 was talking about, the Predaplant engine. It was also suggested in the previous video, Dandelion for example, or immediately searching your Brilliant Fusion thanks to the Predaplant. But again, that needs some changes to the extra deck, like the Mrs. Radiant for example, adding into the extra deck, and Voker also. But yeah, okay guys, that's it. Feel free again to leave suggestions if you want. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.